how they're exhibiting and their artwork, your artwork and shows, and how do you get to show your work? Do you have?
Yeah, definitely. So I actually, I haven't participated in a whole lot of their competitions yet. Funny enough, I joined Falc before I joined any of the local art organizations because Shuba dragged me into Falc first.
Yeah.
So I learned most of my tips from Falc before joining Hayward Arts Council. But they do have a lot of local shows at the library as well as the what do you call it, City Hall. And it makes for very good publicity because it also brings people like your local assembly members. And so it brings a lot of very good political publicity, and can also, they do a lot with local schools. So promoting kids' artworks, and that also gets additional funding for schools and whatnot. So that's sort of the major things that I've picked up from Hayward Arts Council.
That's a wonderful tip for our Falc also.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Next is Sriharsha.
Okay. Clear the screen a little bit. Yeah, I'll speak here, but I show it from this one. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me. I don't know how good it will be to share my screen, but. Oh, then I had to unmute to speak myself here.
Okay, let me unmute. Let me mute myself.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so I'm into this one. Okay, may I speak? Oh, I've been working on presenting my portfolio for San Diego International Photography Exhibition. So they require 1 year of work in a different genres of photography, whatever that interests you, and they want to see the breadth and the depth of things. So depending on that, when they allocate prizes. So that's what I've been working on. I'm supposed to submit about 6 of them, and I have a hard time reducing from 12 to 6. And this is what I've been working on. So my most interesting, all of these images were presented at one point or the other in the Artist of the Month here. So this forum has been a very useful forum for me to get feedback as to what people like, how they perceive the art and all this. Because coming from the photography world, it was a hard transition to go into a fine arts domain and see what's the difference between a good photograph and a good artwork in terms of photography. So couple of images which I am hopeful are, are the categories of natural life, like this bat flying in the middle, for example. Technically, just to add one more thing, I'll add the tip and then my work together. I was speaking to a judge of the show who judged last year, and he was saying that out of the judgment criteria would be about 5 criteria to select the best. One of them would be a wow factor in the photograph, and the next one is the presentation. So I focus mostly on try to at least focus on these 2 factors to see if I could pull off among maybe about 30-40 photographs, about 6 of them. So in the wildlife and then the natural life category, I pulled off something which is relatable to me and something which is relatable to me and my wife, my kid, and then my life. Is this one where the bat flying through a small hole to find his home. So it's a very relatable moment for me. I consider myself as a bat here, and I'm trying to find and then my niche in the art community. So that's what forced me to select this one. And I also have a gannet, which I presented here for last of the month, some time ago, and also represent the family values I carry. So those are the things, and also my dad's picture here when he was on the right side, if you happen to see it. It meant something personal to me. So, and it also worked on my black and white skills and then, understanding the values and light and composition, all sorts of things. So rest of them all, or this one, you have seen it in the Falc Festival. This is Home Calling, the Milpitas Hill going back. And it represents kind of my immigrant journey from India to here. And that's where made my home finally in Silicon Valley. So I try to put my portfolio, which is relatable to me, and then I hope it'll get some recognition at the International Photography Festival. So as for the tip is concerned, creating a reference photograph is one where one has to always worry about the light. So the direction of the light and then the source of light is the two very good important consideration to make. And every photograph should have a source of light which is obvious to the viewer, and then the direction which is falling. So there has to be a tapering off the light. There has to be a light and darkness combination. And if you happen to see any of the photograph, for example, the one on the left side, Yosemite Chapel, it's about the combination of the warm and then the cold colors. And I try to bring the contrast in terms of temperature change and the value change. That's my most cherished forte of presentation. This one was taken when there was a light sifting or diffusing through the fog. And then I juxtaposed against the light which is coming from the chapel, where people are ready to cross the threshold of their life, which is probably to get married. So that's from the cold to the warm side. So that's what I tried to, so the light and the direction of it is extremely important in every photograph or any artwork. So that's the tip I have. Thank you. Okay, I'll stop.
All the best, Sriharsha.
Yeah. You do well.
Okay. Now I have Anandi.
Can you see me? Because,
Yes. I did spotlight on you.
yeah. This is my recent artwork. I did this in watercolor painting. Usually I do realistic painting. That's what I learned. I want to try something different. I want to do some loose watercolor painting, something like abstract. So I tried this. So this is my reference picture. I clicked this picture. And I did one more. This is again a watercolor painting. Yeah, this is also, this is very challenging to get the lights from the traffic light. So in watercolor, it was very difficult for me. So I just tried to bring the reflection.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So these are my recent artworks in watercolor painting.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so glad everyone is busy with making new work.
Yeah. But this is small, like 9 into 12. Yeah, I'm just trying new styles. Um, and for the tip, I think many of you might have known about this. Like I use projector app to draw to trace your artwork. There is an app called Projector. You can download it from the App Store, where you can use the app to trace your artwork. You can try searching in your App Store. That's my tip.
Oh, fantastic.
Instead of tracing the paper, you can try the app Projector.
Projector. Okay.
Wonderful to know that. Nindi, I didn't know that because I have a projector which is pretty old, but it
Uh-huh.
works very good. So it's in the garage somewhere. I
Oh,
never
okay.
used it. I never got to use it. Like, especially for murals, like if I want to, project, that is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. For bigger one, you can use the projector, the bigger projector. But for smaller artwork, you can use this app. You can use your own phone to project it on your canvas or whatever medium you're working on, and then that will reflect on your
Oh, that's
canvas.
amazing.
Yeah, you can draw.
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
How does
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
it's an app?
Yes.
Very.
It's
Which
amazing.
phone are you using?
Which phone are you using?
I
Which phone are you using?
iPhone. iPhone. I don't think so. Android has that.
Android might not have that app, but
Anadi, it is tracing projector or
It's for tracing.
tracing projector?
Yeah, I will. Let me see. It's just projector.
I search projector app drawing.
Projector, just projector. Maybe I'll write it in the messenger group.
Okay. Okay.
Projector.
We'll have to find one for Android because I don't have an iPhone now.
Okay.
time to invest, Sarabjit.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Saikat. I will mute 1 second. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so recently what I have been working is a little different from what I work on. So mostly I've been working on ink fonts, many of you have seen for the last year. So what I thought is to go out of the comfort zone and introduce color into my ink fonts. And to start off, what I have done is basically start with some miniature drawing, minimalistic ink sketches with some water. So, I mean, not water, sorry, it's a color. So I'm using markers for the coloring portion of it. So I can share some of the ones that I have done. Is it? Yeah. So basically, if you see it for the first time, probably the color is going to take your mind like it's the focus and everything, but actually it's 85% of it is ink or the sketching. Color probably takes half an hour or less than that to finish it off. So it's a little different type of style, but it's new to me. So probably a lot to learn from my side also. And what I'm using as a marker is alcoholic based marker. So the problem that I'm facing is it's not easy for alcoholic markers when you are using to smudge or blend the colors because it dries off instantly. So you cannot use. So the technique that you need to use when you're using alcoholic markers is basically of a contrast. Like if you see the light and the dark ones, it's very contrasting. There's no blend into each other. So trying to come up with that is sometimes challenging because we don't know what exactly would be contrasting and pleasing to the eyes at the same time. So uh, in the same way, one thing that I figured out, or probably it can be a tip for the others also, is like here the base is basically the ink. So when I'm doing the ink, most of the shading, like the 60 to 70% of the shading is done as the ink only. Like if you see the darker zones, it's already done as a part of the ink. So when you put color to it, it's just a layer on the top of it. The shading is already done. So that's how most of these things pops up if the shades are really pleasing to the eyes as well as it's minimalistic. So I have tried a few are good, few are not really catchy, but that's the new thing that I'm trying to work on. And I plan to put a few of them for the SBOS show. So probably people who are coming in probably can see some of them. So I can show a few more if I might be having.
So Saikat, do you first start with the markers or the painting?
So yeah, so this is a very minimalistic thing. So this is me in Joshua Tree, which I visited. So if you see, most of the Joshua Tree is done is ink, the black ink, and then it's just a shade or a blend of color on the top of it to project it. So it's very minimalistic, as in it's not complete. It's all white background. It's only the subject that is being sort of trying to be captured over here. So yeah, I mean, that's what I've been working on.
Can be a very good tool for illustrations.
Yeah, so it's sort of in between sketch and illustration. So exactly. So this is more of an illustration, and yeah. So my tip would be basically go beyond your comfort zone, try out new mediums. There is a lot of learning as you try it out. For example, for me over here is that even though ink remains my comfort zone, I'm struggling with the colors, but still I'm using ink as to my advantage to put the shadings and other stuff that I find problem when I'm doing the colors. So yeah, thank you.
How big are these pieces?
Next is Anu.
No,
Can you hear
are
me?
mute.
No, I think Saikat didn't hear your question or mine.
Saikat, go ahead.
Can you? Okay, Sarabjit, sorry. Can you repeat the question?
My question was, I think, got answered in the second one, which I had asked, do you do the ink first and paint afterwards?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean, as I said, like more than 80% is ink. So once the ink is done, then only I would put the color to it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then how big are your pieces?
These are very small miniature ones, lesser than A4.
Are you going to make prints of them?
I've not thought about it because these are small ones, so probably no. I just want to keep it as it is.
I was thinking, I've seen Anu, for example, make prints of her paintings, and they go great on cards. And I saw
Okay.
your drawings online, and I was like, those would be perfect for cards. I would buy 10 of those cards and just start handing them out to my friends. So make prints and buy them from you.
Thank you for the advice. I haven't not thought in that perspective.
Yeah, with nice captions. Yeah, they would go.
Yeah. And Saikat, those are your reference picture?
So yeah, some of them are taken from internet, some are my own reference. So it's because I'm learning it, not all of them are my own, but yes, there are inspirational ones that I have taken from the net, but 50% are probably my own photographies or whatever I'm trying to bring it out. Like the Joshua ones, entirely what I came up with. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, next is Anu.
My light is pretty bright here. I have been doing this kind of things with credit card lately. Like I don't need this. Using credit card and color, kind of adding color with credit card, and then using spray bottle and moving my, I don't know how to get my light a little dimmer. Let's try. No. That's not good.
We can see. We can see.
I know, but I try to get it a little bit. I don't know. It's too bright. Yeah, but kind of moving my my paper just with the water and kind of adding colors with credit card, and then making different kind of paintings. I have this kind of, I have cut my credit card in little pieces and then scraping with the
Wow.
card like these little sailboats kind of out of the this kind of little corner, just using credit card.
Wow.
And kind of just moving the paper with the, just I don't have any reference on any of my kind of my pictures, just come from my head. I don't have any
Fantastic.
any kind of reference to any of my pictures. They just come from my head. So all of these are just kind of like,
Wow.
but
That's amazing.
they are just from my head. But you never know what kind of comes out when you just start moving the paper, but it's a lot of fun. And
Lovely.
What are the watercolors you're using?
so
Anu,
Yeah.
there is a question. What are the which watercolors do you use?
just regular watercolors. I have what are my brands? Most of my brands are Daniel Smith or Winsor Newtons. Yeah. Just regular watercolors. And then last week I was having a lot of fun with working with string. And then I made these abstract paintings with string. I put the string on a paper, and then I added the color to the string, and then I just put the string on a paper, and then I sprayed the string with water, and then I got this kind of weird shape on a paper, and this became a Donald Duck. It's
Wow.
weird. Yeah, and this became somebody's watching you. So actually there's two strings, but some kind of abstract weird thing. So just playing with the strings. And then there was one more, but I was just having fun with those strings, and this was called what was it called?
Wow.
Free as a bird.
New creations.
Yeah, but just like kind of trying something. This was just with the string, like creating a shape and kind of having fun with colors.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Vibrant colors too.
You can always try something new and have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Anu. Next is Maithili. Do you have anything?
No, Janki, sorry. This time I didn't start any new artwork. No.
Okay, punishment for you. Next time you have to share 2 tips for all.
Sure, Janki.
Okay. Asha, do you have?
I'll show you something which I am doing and gifting it to people. So, so like I am like, doing this on a wooden piece, like
Wow.
this kind of coasters. And mostly I'm using Sharpie pens.
Awesome.
And I'm in love with Sharpie. Show you the designs. So like people do love these, like whenever I go to somebody's house, like give some handmade gifts. And I started doing on clay pots also, but I gave all of them to my friends. And I'm in love with Sharpie pens. So I did this kind of thing also. And I framed it and gave it as a gift to for
Fantastic.
Navratri. And I'm working on this Ganesha, but I'm just getting confused whether to make 2 hands. So I'm just still working on it. Thank you.
Lovely. Do you have any tip for us?
Not really. Those Sharpie pens, I got a set from Costco. And
which Sharpie pen is it?
Sharpie?
Which brand is it?
Sharpie. I don't remember the brand, just I know with the Sharpie pens, but they are like a thin tip, like medium tip. And I got some Posca brand like acrylic pens. Those are actually very good to work on also.
Lovely. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Asha.
Yeah, thank you.
Lalima, you're next.
So I have been doing my own style. I told last time that I'm working on this series of trees and Hinduism. So I just recently completed my so this is Kadam ka ped. So Kadam is where Krishna used to do all his near the. So I don't do mythology. I don't put Krishna here, but I have indicated Krishna through cows and a small river near the Yamuna. So that is what I have completed just recently.
Fantastic.
What is the material used?
I use watercolor and gouache paint. That's okay. So
lovely.
So this is what I completed.
Beautiful.
And I have done something which is different, which is out of my comfort zone. Because I'm so I did this in watercolor.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. That's
Very
beautiful.
nice.
So I did this, getting out of my comfort zone, because there I use very small brushes. Here it is big brushes. So my learning was that the bigger the brush, the easier it is to get to watercolor. That's all I will say. That's all I had.
Lovely, lovely. So I'm so happy to see everyone is working and developing their own new skills, and that's the fun part. Next is who else is not there?
I think this group helps you, challenges you because of the demos and everything that you are ready to try something new,
Something
which
new.
which
Yes,
you
yes.
are out of your comfort zone. Actually,
Exactly, exactly.
that is something which I will give the due to you guys only, because every time you see something, okay, I can also whether I can do or not, try it.
Okay, Bhavna, you are next.
All right. Okay, what did I do? I'm doing two paintings. I'll show you. Where can you guys see anything?
Yes.
So it's a very little 8x10. What I did was I went to Mexico last year or something, and I took beautiful sunset pictures. So this is from one of my paintings, one of my photos, and I just put the birds there. I think I'm going to stop because it's not worth spending too much time. I just love the colors, so I did it.
It came out really beautiful.
Yeah, the
It's
birds are looking good.
Yeah, so that is one, and then I'll probably put it on my show, which is coming up in May. So the next thing which I have been working on for some time, I'll show you. It's very large, so very small to very large.
Bhavna, you need to share your SVOS flyer with us.
Oh yes. I don't know how to share. There is glare and all that. Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Yeah,
So
it's amazing.
this is 24x36. A very large line I'm working on.
It's coming out superb.
Yes.
Did you go on a safari?
Yes, I did. I did 20 years back to a safari. This is not my photograph, but I got the permission of the photographer, but I changed everything. Background there was not this, it was single, monochrome, and I love greens and softer backgrounds. I think you guys already know. So I made this kind of, trees in the mist and this. But I'm still working on the body and hair. It's very challenging because my photograph was manipulated and it did not have this sun coming from what I'm trying to show. And I think a lot of you already know I like the play of light, either early morning, evening sun on the wildlife or flowers. So my challenge is to do it right. And that's what I'm working on. Face is way ahead than the body. So still
Bhavna,
going.
do you put it in the program to do the manipulate the light, like Photoshop or anything? No?
The program is in my head.
Okay. That's why it's so challenging. Yeah.
She swallowed Photoshop.
No, I have to learn how to use it, but I never anyway make the same photograph. I never copy a photograph, even if it is mine. So I always manipulate in my head. And then I also decide while I'm painting it, what makes sense. So I'm like that way. I'm not like copy this, change it, and then copy that again. So that is why it's challenging. I agree, if I have fixed plan in the beginning, it would be very helpful, but unfortunately, I don't.
Wow, lovely.
Beautiful.
And do you have a tip for us?
Tip. Okay, yes, I can share one, but maybe you already know it. A lot of people have talked to me about making these kind of backgrounds, which is more of my style. And the way I do it is I layer a lot to get this effect. Although it is possible to get in oils in 1 or 2 layers, but because when I'm making a painting, I want it to work with the object. So I go back and forth between this and I layer it. So the effect I get is much better than you could get in like 2 layers. For example, this background is about four or 5 layers.
So
The top.
Bhavna, do you work light to dark or dark to light?
Actually, I start with the darks first, and then I put the lights. But when there is a dramatic light, so another tip is put the light. Because especially in a bigger piece, it is hard to understand. And sometimes if I put darker, it is hard to get this bright. So what I learned, a tip from a professional was put the light how you want it to be first, and then work around so that you can really contrast it. So that's my another tip.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, Behnaz, you are next.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I can't turn on my camera. Sorry about that. But I'm gonna show you a small video about one of my recent project that I defined for myself. So let me share it. Okay. The subject is about tree, because always I love to paint about tree and do something different and try my find my voice about that. And I try to do something with different materials, something if it's in my mind and I don't know what should be the result. But I did it. Just I thought I have to do it, and then without any getting result. So maybe after these project, after those one that it's going on right now, find some of those interesting way and technique, and then focus on that to do more painting in the big scale and big shapes. Something it actually about the tip, I can say, you know, some of those is drawing with pen, with acrylic. I don't know this is the best way to get my voice about the one subject, but I try to do it, and then to find maybe something interesting in this series, and then focus more on that one, because this is just playing with shapes, with the materials, with my knowledge, and then maybe at the end find some points and then focus on that one.
Beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful, Behnaz.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I hope to get a good result at the end, and then focus on that technique and that perspective, and make new project and make some series of trees.
So Behnaz, all these are watercolor?
No, with different collage, acrylic, oil painting, pen, charcoal. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, sometimes it's mixed. This is oil painting. This is oil painting. Sometimes I mix the pen and watercolor. This is collage from some colored paper.
The whole series is superb.
Which one?
The whole series is very, very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But that one, actually, I don't know for the you all of you talking about the tips, and I don't know this is good or not, but usually artists have to focus in one subject, one technique, and then focus on that one. But I think it's better everyone follow their
Passion.
passion and about the personality style, and then if they're gonna try something new, I think times to do it. We cannot put it, for the future. But this is not a good actually tip for everyone, because if you focus on some material or some subject or some way, of course at the end you can get a good result and maybe earlier. But I think it's better with just listen to our voice and do that one.
Yeah. Lovely tip.
Thank you. And sorry I couldn't turn on my camera. Maybe next time.
No worries. Adi, have you? Is your turn done? Adi, please, your turn. And you can suggest
either my process or my inspiration. Which one they want? Because it's going to take time. Yeah, so I can either talk about my inspiration, what inspires me, or I can talk about my process. No? Okay.
Talk about your Triton Museum artwork, your inspiration for that.
Okay. Oh, the inspiration for those is other people's pain. So, yeah, seriously. So, yeah. So, I used to paint other things, flowers and portraits and stuff a lot before, but there was 3 things that made me change my route of what I do for art. One, first of all, I thought I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to get rich. But it didn't take long to say, oh, forget about it. It's not going to happen. Yeah, just 1 year through it, I say it's not going to happen. So if nobody really interested in what I do, I want to do what I want to do, not what other people want me to do. And 3 things brought me to that. One was the trip I made home. Every time I made home, all the stories I hear about what people go through or went through during the war and stuff, it always stays with me and affected me. The second thing was I came across an article on the internet that talked about how the Iranian women are treated. Some of them I know it's true, but there were some things that I didn't think it was true. So to do that, to figure out for myself, I went to the best source that I could go. I started reading the United Nations periodics that they write, which they have a lot of periodics for many different subjects, whatever you want. Some of them are annual, some of them every 5 years. So I read about everything that was on that article. And I found, yeah, I was true. It wasn't what, it was somebody who didn't like the regime of Iran, but they exaggerated the situation. So I didn't find that in the United Nations reports. While I was reading, I started, okay, let me compare it with other countries. That took me to a route for 2.5 years. I kept reading and reading about how the world treats women all over the world. And I found out that everywhere you go, women are mistreated, but in a different way, in a different form. But yeah, the history of human being shows from the beginning of time. Yeah, the man tried to control the woman. It's in the history, it's everywhere. And that made me come through 13, I did 13 paintings in 2.5 years. That's one of the series I did. And after that, I touched on other subjects I see around the world or in the news. I read about them. I just don't go by the news. When I see something, I research it, I read about it from reputable sources, newspapers or university reports or famous organizations in each country. I check and balance to see if, first of all, is that what they say is true or not, or who's saying it, who's not. I don't go to Facebook for those things. Even if I see on Facebook, then I go to the other sources to see if it's true or not. So that's why each one of my paintings takes a long time. Most of it is reading and researching about it to make sure it's true. And then the process of putting it together, how to compose it on a canvas so it will tell what I wanted to tell. And it worked. It's working. People understand it, appreciate it, even though it doesn't sell, but people appreciate it. And all that work paid off. I mean, so far I've been spending a lot of money on creating my work and entering shows, not to really sell because I gave up on that, just for people to see my work. And it worked out for me with the show that Triton offered me. And the good thing about the show that's coming up is I didn't send a packet and beg for a show. They came to me. And that's the biggest honor an artist can have. That's the biggest honor an artist can have. I'm so happy. So on that case, yeah, I still do other things in between the thoughtful images that I make. I do pastel drawings. Right today, I started doing pastel drawing, and then I saw Dennis's note that says I cannot make it tonight. I said, oh, tonight is a Falc meeting. So, and when I do my drawings, that's the reason I don't do demos, because the drawing part is the one that takes me a lot of time. Besides, for when I do portraits, I don't do tracing. We all learned our way of drawing by grid first. All of us, we started with grid. And then it came to tracing. But when I did grid at the beginning, the 10 by 10 grid, it's a lot of squares, or 16 by 16. So what I did, as I got more comfortable, I cut down the number of grids. So like even if I do a scenery or objects, I go straight to the canvas. I don't do no grid. If I do portrait, if it's only one face, I don't do no grid. I go straight to the newsprint paper. I do my drawing on the newsprint paper, like what I was doing tonight before I come. And I take my time to make sure my drawing is as perfect as it can be. Then I trace my drawing onto the drawing surface or the canvas. So I'm tracing, but I'm tracing my own drawing. So I think I think that's okay. Yeah, tracing is straight out of a photo. It's good practice to learn. It's good practice to learn. But eventually, if for artists, that has to stop if they want to be an artist, So I'm trying to be that. I'm still, like when I do grid, I do 3 by 3 or 2 by 2 squares, a little bit to make sure everything falls in the right place. I don't go off the canvas. But other than that, I try to do my best to do just by drawing. And that takes me time. But when the drawing is ready on the newspaper print, when I trace it on the canvas, on the newspaper print, I draw everything. But when I trace it on my canvas or drawing surface, I don't trace everything. Like I just trace the contour. I put a dot where the center of this eye is, at the center of that eye is. I put a line here. that's it. Because when I do my first layer of paint on the face, if I draw all of the details, it will be gone. If you get lost, you don't see it anymore. So I do a dot for the center of each eye, a line here, and I paint it dark. So when I do my first layer of color on the face, there is a trace of that dot and the line still comes through. And I know where the center of the eyes is. And then from there, I start painting and putting all the features on it. But on my newspaper trace, I have to draw everything to make sure exactly it's the correct copy of what I wanna draw. Yeah, so I still have time. Yes. Yeah. Anybody has any questions? Yeah, watercolor is something I'm chicken to try. I haven't tried watercolor. I don't know how you guys do it, especially when you do it realistic. It boggles my mind. I admire what you guys do. Yeah, I haven't tried it. But you know, if I had a space at home, if I had the right space, I would do sculpture. I like to do sculpture, but that takes tools and space.
So when you're tracing, Hadi, what do you use? Tracing paper?
No. So I tape my drawing on the window during daytime, but the drawing side toward outside. So the side I'm standing is the blank side. So the image comes through the paper. I use pastel pencil to draw the lines that I want to trace. And then I turn it over on my drawing surface. On the drawing side, I go over the lines that I want to trace. The pastel side copies it to the canvas.
Okay.
If you do, some people do charcoals the whole back of the painting, you will leave a mess on your surface. You will leave a mess. So the best thing is I do pastel pencil. So yeah, I just like, if I want to draw this image, I just turn it over, and on the back of it, I draw with the pastel line, I draw around it or whatever I want to trace. Then when I trace it on the drawing side, I press it with the, you know, those pointed things. They do nail art. Yeah, I use those for pressing it to trace it.
Okay,
There
that's
is
a
some
good tip.
metal tips. They do nail art, you know, they put dots and stuff. Right? That's what I use.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Because it's a ball shape and round. It doesn't cut through. It doesn't damage your because otherwise, if it's sharp, if you use pencil or something sharp, it's something like that. Yeah. If you use something sharp or a pencil, try to press it to trace it. It leaves what do you call it?
Yeah, scrap.
Inside your surface. If you do it, especially if you're doing it on paper.
Yeah.
If you're doing it on paper. On canvas, it doesn't matter. But if you're tracing on a paper, it engraves the lines into the paper, and it doesn't look good. Yeah.
Thank you.
And who was Sarabjit? Save your money and go to Home Depot and buy a gallon of. That's what I do. I learned, it's already been using it for 8 years, and I learned it from an artist who have done it for 30 years.
What? I didn't hear. What? A gallon of what?
The finish you put on your painting.
So what?
For acrylic, not for oil.
Yeah,
So
I use acrylic.
I forgot the name, but I can when I go home, I send.
Yeah,
send
okay, then post it in the messenger then. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I buy a gallon and last it for a long time, especially I do for 48 by 48 paintings. Yeah.
Okay. So how do we become rich? If not by selling paintings?
No, you don't get rich by being, it's just like a lotto. You always have to go, you need the luck.
Okay, so you won some lottos, I guess.
You have to have a luck. You have to have luck to be famous, just like any other entertainment, just like any other art or entertainment.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay. I won't remove the spotlight and I'll share what I was working with. This is one of my painting. This is color pencil. It is part of it. And I'll be working on the whole pillar, but I wanted to submit it for one of the competition. So there was no size limit. So I just submitted that much as a painting. But it has, yes, color pencil. So there was a deadline and I wanted to submit something new. So I worked on this and submitted. So I was literally working.
What is the title did you give for this?
For this, the title is Columna Amoris.
Okay.
That means the pillar of love, because there is a hidden message for my family. There are alphabets in here. If you can see T, A, J. T is my daughter's name, Tanvi and Amishi, and J is my husband's name. And there is an I love you in here. So I wanted to dedicate this painting to them. So there has to be something from my side on the pillar. So I just wanted to add that. Last time there was a complaint from them that you never write our names in the paintings. So I just wanted to write their names in the painting.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So that's my share. And then I wanted to stop sharing here. And the tip which I wanted to share. I have this painting which I have done in a workshop. This painting is done on this painting was done on Duralar film, which is like a transparent film, and on that I worked with a color pencil. So what we do is we kind of we have to cover the whole surface with the neo color, those chalks, and with water you dilute the whole color pencil and the wax onto the whole film, and then with eraser you have to erase the image. So the whole painting is done just with erasers, different size of erasers.
The new color was white.
So neo color was black.
And then
So you cover the whole thing with black, and then you start erasing the painting. And that's what the style is. That's what my tip is. Erasers are something which we try to correct the painting with, and this is done with erasers.
So what tool do you use for erasing?
So there are different type of erasers. Combo erasers are very tiny erasers.
Okay.
Those erasers, you can get it in different sizes. Very tiny erasers. Yeah, monotombo eraser. So those erasers, they come in different sizes. I also has eraser which is broken on sides. Remember when we were small, we used to like break the erasers in triangles and circles and those kind of stuff. I did the same to erase that.
Wonderful. Talking of erasers, there is also eraser which erases, I think, ink. You know, this one, mono eraser. It's called mono eraser. So if you're working with ink pens, it erases ink also. Yeah.
I think Geeta is left to share.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. And my battery ran out of my computer. So that was my tip, that don't throw those erasers and use those erasers as a tool. Okay. Now I will ask Saikat to announce the artist of the month.
Oh, I think we have missed Geeta.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Sorry, Sarabjit. I was the volume was too low. Can you repeat?
I think we have missed Geeta.
Oh.
Oh no, it's okay, no problem. I do not have any painting here.
But any tips you want?
No, it's I get inspired sometimes when I see a lot of painting. So there was one painting by Emma Fusan where it was a wall and small children had done, little scribbling. So I like that innocence of the lines. So then I started a painting which is 5 feet by 4 feet. And I asked my 4 grandchildren to draw whatever they like. So some have drawn a carrot, my granddaughter draw a heart, and some have drawn heart. So that is like a background. And then I have made their portraits like they're sitting, 4 of them sitting together, and that is in front. So I'm working on that painting. It's taking me a long time because to have that as a background, and they are so particular. They're saying, don't ever remove that carrot. Don't. So the carrot is on top of the sky. One heart is down, one hut is here. There's a pillar, everything, whatever they wanted to draw, they have done it. But to assemble them and to make into a painting is a big challenge for me. So
that's wonderful.
That is it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go ahead, Janki. Okay. Yeah, so for the artist of the month, well, it was a tie everywhere. So I think the top three positions are shared by Shriharsha, me, and Geeta as per the polling. And just not to mention, like all were like one votes here and there. So I there's nothing to choose probably. So yeah, congratulations to all the winners. Thank you. So Janki, any closing?
Yes, brings so much of positive.
So Janki, any closing remark we have done today?
So we are done with the meeting, and congratulations to all 3 of you.
Yeah, thank you.
And you will not get the ribbon.
No ribbon.
We want the ribbon. Because we ran out of the first place ribbons. So I'm ordering the new one. And after that, you guys will get it.
I just want to say something. I have been part of Falc for last 3 years. And this is the first time I've got first place. So Now I
No,
feel
that's
I
not
do
true.
deserve to be called an artist.
That's not true.
Very true. I've
No,
never
no.
come first. Never.
For your daughters, the beautiful
Oh, no,
yellows and
that's
reds.
another club. From Falc, I have never ever come first. Never.
I'm going to beat you on that one because I published all the things of yours,
No,
right?
no, I know it.
Indeed,
I've come second or third, but never first.
Yeah, I was also thinking, but
Thank you so much.
I had to check that one because I think I did that one published where Geeta's was first.
I know it.
Okay.
So fun. You deserve the ribbon.
Yeah, for sure.
I
We'll
want
get
to
it.
get the ribbon in 4 years. This is the first time.
None of you guys will get the ribbon. She will get the ribbon.
Geeta also won Instagram Artist of the Month.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a
it's a double
Yeah, this month double.
I got asked the artist of the month. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you
month,
for your
thank you.
votes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very
Lovely.
nice.
Okay. So I'll be ending the meeting here and have a lovely evening, you guys,
Bye.
and see you
Thank you.
guys very soon.
Thank
in
you.
the next
Bye-bye.
one.
Bye.
Bye.
See you all. Bye. See you. Bye.